Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back.
Do it.
That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure,
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
This is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sound experiment. We're looking to find the perfect way to hear Reese's so you'll buy more of them. Here we go. Reese's, 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 Reese's. Hey, get out of here, you little stinker. Reese's.
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 Peanut Butter Cups. That breathy one sounded very creepy, am I right?
This week, we look at the tiny farm town of Epping, New Hampshire, where a woman repeatedly lured unsuspecting men into her web. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, and welcome back to Small Town Murder. Oh, yay, yay, yay. Yay, yay, yay. From the top of the mountains, my name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week.
No doubt.
We are jacked and pumped, and we can't wait to get into some murder. We are going to shut up and give you murder. Before we get started, I want to make a big announcement.
Oh, yes.
Huge announcement.
Ridiculously
right here.
big.
December the 14th. We teased it last week, but we're going to give the whole thing this week. December the 14th. If you're in or around Chicago, Illinois, come
see us.
See us. We have live shows of Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports.
That's
right. Crime and Sports is at 7. Small Town Murder is at 10. It's at Lincoln Hall in Chicago. Right. December the 14th. You can get your tickets now at lh-st.com.
lh-st.com.
Or we're going to put a link in the show description. You can just follow that and not have to worry about the website. But if you want to buy these tickets as you're listening, that's the way to do it right there. You can do that. And we are going to have so much fun.
Yes.
We're going to have a blast doing the live show.
I can't wait.
It'll be just like this, except we're going to mix in some visuals and we'll make it a good time. We're going to do some interesting stuff. It's going to be a blast.
Rubber balls on that chrome bean.
Yeah, that too.
Absolutely.
That's another thing that we're going to do. Possibly. We'll see. We'll get into that. But yeah, get your tickets for that. Cannot wait for that. Chicago, we are coming. Also, thank you guys for your iTunes reviews this week.
My God.
you guys have just, I swear, we can't express to you how thankful we are to you guys. We really can't. It's. I hate to use the word because it sounds douchey when people say it, but it's very humbling when people are nice to you and you're like, oh, I don't even know. I don't know what to do with that.
There's
Neither
a
does
joke
Jimmy.
about that somewhere that
it's not
you're
humble,
using that
but
entirely
it's
opposite
wrong.
of what it
it's what it is, but it is though because
That's
I
Greg
feel
Giraldo
like
that did it.
Yeah, but it feels like I don't know. It makes me. When you're nice to me, it makes me feel like I don't deserve it twice as much. So that's why I think where we're coming from.
Yeah, just like
you're
being a dick. You're patronizing me.
Yeah,
That's
right.
exactly what you're
sure
doing.
You
like it.
Sure you gave us 5
stars.
Sure you
do.
But if you do like the show, please get on iTunes and give us 5 stars if you have not done that already. It helps us so much on the business end. iTunes has a funky algorithm, and it's listens, and it's this, and it's that, and it's those iTunes reviews weigh heavily. So if you can get on there, give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say.
Nope.
Tell us what you're going to be for Halloween. We're happy with that. That's terrific. We'll go, great. They're going to be Boba Fett for Halloween. Great. Wonderful. Pulled that out of my ass because that's what my son's going to be. So you guys can do that. That would be wonderful. If you are one of these people who are just our heroes and you want to do more, like a lot of you goddamn heroes do, you can get on patreon.com/crimeinsports. That's our one. Other podcast that you should be listening to as well. You don't have to like sports to like it.
No.
You can make a donation to us there, and I can't. 2 more appreciative guys do not exist. I'll tell you that right now.
I've never met them.
No, they definitely don't. Every dime is so appreciated. Even if it's $1, people's, they're like, I don't want to donate $1. What are they going to do with $1? Dollars add up. They really do help.
So surprised.
And to us, it's just that you went out of your way to give us $1 is ridiculous,
That's
and we
what it is.
can't thank you enough. And if you want to do a one-time donation, you can do that over at PayPal using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
And people have given us $1 there, and
we're like,
I see
thank
that,
you.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding
That's
me!
amazing.
You took all that time, and I'm so
you
so
typed
thankful.
in your card number and all that, and thank you guys. Honestly, we
So
can't
nice.
thank you enough for that. We're going to get started here in just a moment, but first, we need to do our disclaimer. Obviously, brutal. Exactly. This is a comedy podcast. We're stand-up comics. We are. We're going to make jokes. There's going to be jokes. Most of the jokes come at the expense of small towns because we're all from a small town that deserves to be made fun of. Bumbling police forces. Maybe we'll pick on a murderer. Yeah. That sort of thing. Yeah. We say all the time, our motto here is we are assholes, but we're not scumbags.
We are not.
We're not. We don't make jokes at the expense of the victims or the victim's family. We really try our hardest not to do that because that's not what we're all about.
They've been through enough.
They've been through enough. But otherwise, we got to tell you guys, if you're on board now, great. It's not that bad, but we don't want to hear complaining later.
No.
If you don't think true crime and comedy have any place together, then unsubscribe right now, and we'll see you. Have a good day. But like we've said before, it's a liquor store analogy.
Sure.
If you're going in to rob the liquor store, it doesn't matter if you're the getaway guy out in the car. If somebody shoots someone, you're up for murder now.
You got your start off with you, Omar. Let's go.
So let's go right now. And if one of us sprays a tiny Korean grocer's brains all over the liquor in the back of the counter, you guys are responsible. So no complaining. Let's do this. Let us head up to the northeast of the United States, Jimmy. Let's pack our bags. We're going on a holiday. Let's do it. We are going to Epping, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Ooh, exciting.
Sounds
there
cold.
in the northeast. It's cold. It's like the far southeast part of the state.
Yeah.
So it's not up way north by Canada. It's practically Boston, pretty much. It's down in that region. It's pretty much Boston. It's around. It's I would call it not a suburb, but I feel like they get all the Boston local news stations and all that sort of thing. Like I've been in a Rhode Island before, and they get all the Boston stuff.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I mean,
Red
Rhode
Sox
Island
games
shouldn't even put in the effort. They should be like, fuck it. Whatever's closest, we'll broadcast that in.
There's not enough room for anything here, so we have nothing here. It is in Rockingham County, zip code 03042, area code 603. But we also have an odd thing here with it. It says that there's a 679 exchange. Oh. What in the fuck does that mean?
No fucking idea.
I just picture some old operator plug it in with a 50s accent, 679 340. You know what I mean? One of those. Rockingham 043. I'll put you right through.
And she's got like an auxiliary plug.
Yeah, that's what I keep doing. You guys, folks can't see that, but I'm every time I say something in an operator voice, I'm plugging something into that. I'm connecting you to something. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know, and I don't really care at this point. It is a larger town in terms of square mileage. That doesn't reflect in where the people are, but it's 26.2 square miles, which I believe is about the size of Manhattan. That's a decent size area.
I wouldn't have any fucking idea, but 20, that's
a big area.
In terms of landmass, that's one of our bigger ones so far.
That's one of the bigger ones, but most of the people are crammed into one area of town.
Gotcha.
It's not spread out throughout that. And then there's the rural area of town with farms and all that sort of thing, and that's where we're going to be this week.
Yeah.
Their slogan, they don't have a slogan now that I could find, but their slogan for years was Epping, the center of the universe, which I assume is sarcastic as shit, because it is certainly not the center of the universe.
Or some flat earther designed it and then was like, boy, did we fuck up.
There's the center. We did it. Perfect. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to other forms of science.
And then there was a moon landing, and they're like, we should probably take that shit down.
Let's stop. This is ridiculous. This is not really the center of the universe.
Definitely is not.
Let's go with Jupiter maybe at that point.
And even it's not even the center of America. It's not even the center of fucking Rhode Island or Delaware.
Not at all.
Rhode Island, whatever. Delaware.
You know where you're going with that. The town was originally part of Exeter, which was one of the 4 original New Hampshire townships.
Yeah.
Is what they did here.
Is it the exit or is it the center? Figure it out, fuckers.
Exeter. So to encourage settlement, what they would do is give away land to people. That's what they did back in the day anyway. We want people here. Well, shit, let's just give them land. People will go where they want. So they basically, you get a big plot of woods.
I grew up in the wrong era. That would be amazing.
Well,
wouldn't that be great?
You grew up about 350 years too late, really.
Yeah,
is the problem.
I guess.
If you wanted to die from a cold and shit in a hole in the middle of the winter, then this would have been great for you.
Now, or you grew up then and you fear polio.
I'll take non-polio and having to pay for my house. I think it's much better here. In 1741, it was incorporated into a town. Epping was. Became its own thing at that point. Epping was named for Epping, England, is what it was named for. So
Rockingham's somewhere in England too, isn't it?
Everything in the Northeast is named after English towns.
Which is hilarious that we separated. And they're like, fuck it, let's just
name
everything after that.
They didn't want to leave England, those people.
Right.
They just wanted to practice their weird religion and burn women at the stake for having an opinion and shit like that. They wanted stuff like that,
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know about that. So they came over here and they're like, we'll make it just like England, except we can burn people at the stake at will. That sort of thing here. Now, following the American Revolution, a lot of this town's residents moved to Monmouth, Maine, because a general up there was offering free land to his soldiers. So they were like, well, that's more free land. We'll go up there. So it was that sort of thing.
Just chasing the land fire sales.
That's
great.
Land. That's what people did. And then they went out. Why do you think there's people in Oklahoma, for Christ's sake? You think they'd be sitting there waiting for the next tornado to come if nobody gave their ancestors land a shitload long ago? Like, why are we here? Why are we here? Because
we have no mortgage. That's why.
Yeah, it was free. We have a mortgage now, but my great lazy ass grandfather decided this is a fine place to stop.
He just packed up the wagon train and let 7 people die on the way here for his free land.
All their little headstones behind. My God. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Oregon Trail like that, too. And I always thought of that, too. I thought, did people really do that?
Fuck yeah,
Would they stop
did.
and put? And they think they did, which is kind of neat. And now they're all in Oklahoma.
All over the mountains of Tennessee because of it.
That's true, yeah. By 1790, this town already had 1,200 people.
Okay.
So, we were barely a country over here yet. Like, there were still shit being signed and articles being, ratified and things like that. And there was already 1,200 people in this town.
Fascinating.
Principal thing here was farming all through the 1800s. Tons of farms. Also, they have a lot of clay here, reserves under the ground. So they're digging up. How'd you like to be a clay farmer? Like digging up clay?
Terrible.
That sounds dirty and awful.
I'd rather be a diamond miner in Africa.
Well, they probably let you keep both arms if you can't get any clay out. So maybe this would be better. But
it's still cleaner.
It's terrible. Oh, God, yeah, you're going to come out much cleaner.
That's the thing.
Imagine
that sounds horrible.
Slipping all over the place on the clay. Awful. They would use, the residents here made bricks with the clay. That was the big industry here, was brick making. Dig up the clay and let's make some bricks.
They're not even bricklayers, they're brick makers.
Let's slap it together. I picture them making like a mud pie, and they're like, "All right, that's good enough. Throw
Put
that
those
in your
3
building.
holes in it and throw in the pile.
Cook that shit.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Put it in the kiln.
That's it, man. In 1840, there was a commercial brickyard that opened up here, though, and really blew the whole place up. Forget about it. You get a commercial brickyard in town. Whew, shit gets going. There was railroads all through here, all sorts of railroads crisscrossing and through here. Now, by the 80s, there was no railroads anymore. They stopped coming through there. Now there's just like a thing saying here was the railroad, basically.
And they bypassed the whole town, because the railroad still exists. They still use it all over
just
the place.
not here. They took these lines out.
They just cut
apparently.
that. Fuck that Epping place.
The Worcester, Nashua, and Rochester railroads, and then there was a Portsmouth and Concord Railroad, and they all kind of things got abandoned in the 30s.
Gotcha.
They first started going in the early 30s, 32, so I figured the Depression probably had something to do with that.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. It sounds right in that time frame.
That's what I would think, too. Yeah. They have a big theater there. It's the Letty Center. It's an antique playhouse where they do all sorts of plays and that sort of thing.
How many seats is that?
I don't know the seating
do a live
capacity.
Show there.
We should maybe do a live show there. Probably not in Epping.
Boston could come up.
We're actually a little secret here. We're actually looking into Boston right now.
Yes.
Boston might be coming soon, guys. So if you're in Boston, wait for us here. Wait for us. We're coming soon. We're coming soon.
I want to see where that time capsule is that Paul Revere buried. They just dug one up that
That's
he
cool
buried.
shit.
That's badass.
That I would like to see that. Not a lot of people here. The famous people from the town. You try to find some of them here. It's a lot of senator of New Hampshire in the 1800s. Shit, people you would know. The 36th governor of New Hampshire from the 1800s.
He's got to come from somewhere.
The only cool thing I found was Carl Stearns Clancy was the first person to circumnavigate the globe on a motorcycle. I don't know how the fuck you do that.
Yeah, that doesn't make
impressive.
any sense.
That is impressive. That is the most impressive feat I've ever heard of, honestly.
How did he build a nautical motorcycle?
He's amazing, this guy. Incredible. He's like, how the shit do you do that? I understand. It's from land to land, but that's not circumnavigating the globe.
No.
Most of the globe is water.
Right.
You've circumnavigated a portion of the globe,
You circumnavigated the fucking land on the globe.
That's pretty much it.
And by the way, I hate anything with the word circum in the beginning of it. Let's not do that
it sounds
ever again.
Painful. Yeah. Very painful, the whole thing here. People in this town, population is 6,835, which is actually up about a third, 32% since 1990.
What in the shit is happening?
I don't know. People are moving there. I think it's like everywhere back east. Like where I'm from got a lot more crowded. It's about an hour north of New York City. It got very crowded around that time. That was the time when cities back east got really expensive. And people started fleeing toward the suburbs. And I think that's probably what you got. A bunch of people from Boston going, hey, that's a nice town with cheap shit. Let's go there.
It's a housing bubble. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. Median age in this town, a few years older than usual. It's 37.4 is our average. Up here, we're about 41.6.
Okay.
Male-female populations are pretty normal. A lot of married people here.
Really?
More than normal. 63% of the population is married. It's usually 50-50.
Yeah.
So that's odd. I don't know I don't know. I guess when you're on a farm, when you're making clay bricks, you stay together.
Yeah.
People who make clay bricks together stay together, from what I understand. That's just what I've heard. I think there's an old country song by that name.
A lot of couples like to go to those fucking pot factories and go paint shit together.
It's craft.
It's the pottery.
They're crafting, Jimmy.
Yeah,
they're
that
crafting.
pottery
That's
holds shit together.
Divorce rate here is about normal. There's a few less, single with children people wandering around here. So you either get married and stay married, or you get knocked up and you don't get
you're
married.
having kids.
Either way, there's some damn kids here coming out in this town. The race of the town, very, very white town,
You bet.
which New Hampshire, it's known for. It's very white there. It's not anybody else has really made their way up there. 96.57% white.
Holy
which is
shit.
Pretty much this town is, you could put this town and a bar of Ivory soap next to each other and go, which one is whiter and more pure white.
Yeah.
You go, I'm not sure. I can't tell.
I dare you.
I cannot tell.
And a gallon of whole milk.
Yeah, exactly. Pick the whitest.
Pick the white
shoes and some Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
The Hispanic population here, 0.0% black, 0.0% Asian. We don't want any damn restaurants in this. I'll go to Boston if I want Chinese food.
Fucking want nothing here.
The way it's working. Hispanic population, 0.15%.
Jesus.
There's like 3 guys, probably. 2 guys. That's it. That's nobody else. The religion here, normally it's about 50-50, like we say. 39% of the people here identify as religious.
Yeah.
Most of them are Catholic, obviously.
Yeah.
Catholics, the Baptists of the North.
You bet.
We know it.
So goddamn funny.
In this region, there is tons of Catholics, obviously, here. Nothing else really to speak of in terms of different religions.
Yeah.
We do have 0.32% Jewish.
What?
So a couple of Jewish people, maybe there'll be less violence. We'll see. I know the story, so I'm going to say not. 0.0% Muslim, which is to be expected up there. The politically, it's almost even, which is kind of New Hampshire's a toss-up state most of the time. 47% Democrat, about 52% Republican at the time of this. Yeah, and that's for this town, and it's always a flip.
I always picture that area just being overrun with Kennedys and Kennedy supporters, and I'm always shocked.
Well, it's rural.
I get it, but I'm always still shocked to hear that one person's a Republican.
Up there, yeah. It's rural up there, and they're also very anti the city up there. Whether you're Vermont, New Hampshire, it's like, well, scumbags down in Boston.
Right.
I mean, they don't know why
Those
they're
damn
saying
liberals
that.
in Boston.
Or not even that. Just they're down there fucking each other, and there's having illegitimate children left and right. I feel like they're judgmental.
Supporting
up there.
the gays and all that shit.
All that shit.
That weird stuff.
Unemployment rate here, it's less than 3%.
Okay.
Which is good. That's not bad for a town here. Good job growth, that sort of thing.
It's way better than national average. Isn't the national average like 7 or 6?
It's 5.2 is the national average. Right. But still, that's a couple percent better. That's not bad at all.
Great.
Unemployment rate isn't everything, but it gives you a general overview. Median household income, this is a better indicator here of prosperity, is $77,321.
Thriving like crazy.
That's almost $25,000 higher than the national average.
That's money.
So that's not bad. They're doing well up there. A lot of jobs, more than about twice the amount of like management, business, finance jobs as usual there as average. A lot of that art and media, design, entertainment, that sort of thing. A lot. So feels like maybe some of these companies moved out of Boston and they have put a media company up in a lower rent area.
Taxes,
that sort of thing.
all that shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. New Hampshire's very low on taxes. Also, as a matter of fact, I believe if there is no sales or income tax, I believe in New Hampshire. If
How the hell did they figure that out?
If I'm not mistaken, because there's nobody there. You live on a fucking farm.
Yeah, but I get that.
But
where do they get the fucking money?
From the federal government, I would imagine.
Okay, and I guess property tax?
Like that. And there's got to be some sort of... There has to be something, because there are schools and things like that.
Yeah, they got roads. Granted, even if they're dirt, they got to fucking grade them.
Cost of living here is a little higher than usual. We say 100 is the normal, that's par, average. Here, 125 is the cost of living.
Okay.
A little high.
Steep.
That's a little steep here. Everything's a little higher. Groceries, healthcare, utilities are 150, so that's high up there. Housing, though, 130 out of 100.
Wow.
So high on the housing here.
That's fucking crazy.
It is. Median home cost there is $241,000.
My God.
In the rest of the country, it's $185,000.
That's so much money.
That's a lot for a house.
Looking for a $250,000 for an average house.
An average house, and it's about 65% of the houses there are between $150,000 and $300,000. So that's the range where you're looking here. And if you are looking, in fact, to move to Epping, New Hampshire, we have something for you.
Yeah.
We have the Epping, New Hampshire Real Estate Report, baby.
My favorite.
Let's do it. We have a 2-bedroom apartment here, about $1,010 a month,
that's
which
average,
is right about that's just like $30 less than the average. I found a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,530 square foot house for $224,900.
Okay.
Not that great of a house, too. No. It's a pretty small looking. It's 1,500 square feet, but it doesn't look great from the outside. Okay. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a little nicer looking from the outside. Sure. 1,600 square feet for $269,000. And I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,100 square foot house. Very nice house.
That's a house.
It's beautiful looking, too. It's a real nice house, nice yard, $410,000.
Fucking what?
So buckle up here.
In a farming community. Like, I've seen that Shark Tank where the guy makes, like, those tree teepee things.
Yeah.
And they're like, how much do you sell them for? He's like, I make them for $1. I sell them for $3. Or whatever, it's 70 cents, I sell them for $1. Whatever. He makes very little profit on them is the point. And they're like, why don't you sell them for like $5? And he's like, these are farmers, and like he loses his shit for like even the suggestion of taking money from farmers. If a farmer can afford a $460,000 house, jack your prices up on shit.
I feel like there's not a lot of farmers left around here, Jimmy. I feel like these quote farmhouses are probably mostly wealthy people from the city who want quiet, who move from Boston, or just people who work in have a good job in Boston. They work somewhere because Boston has good salaries and it's crazy expensive to live there.
Also, too, Steve Jobs has that's a bad example. He's dead. Oprah has several houses around this country. She may have one in Epping.
You never know.
That's the most expensive house there, and she's never there.
And maybe while she's there, she participates in the things to do in Epping.
This is great.
Epping has 2 annual parades.
Okay.
It is the Christmas parade and the Memorial Parade. It's the Memorial Parade, exactly what you'd expect. Youth sports
Memorial
teams.
Day?
The Memorial Day parade. Scouts, Boy Scouts, high school marching bands, the fire department, and Christmas parade, though, a little different here. A little different. A few fire trucks, police cars, and they go around town with Santa and the elves.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if they bring in real dwarves or not. We're not sure. They bring in real little people or how they work this, but if this town's worth a shit, they bring in fucking dwarves.
I guarantee you
Santa Claus,
was it Santa Claus, Georgia? Was it Georgia?
Santa Claus, Georgia,
yeah. I guarantee they bring him in.
Yeah, they bring him in. Yeah, maybe they do a little tour. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're like comics or something.
Around.
All right, now we're up in New Hampshire next.
Are y'all booked on the 23rd?
Yeah, we're booked. Sorry, we got a big gig in New Hampshire. So they have Santa, and they throw candy to the kids who are outside. Perfect. So if you're outside freezing your ass off in the middle of December in New Hampshire, maybe a dwarf will throw some candy at you. That sounds terrific.
Drill you in the frozen nose with a candy cane.
Can't wait. Crime rates in this town, what we're interested in here. Yeah. The nitty, the gritty, the crime.
Sure.
Property crime is actually a little lower than the national average here. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, assault, is right at national average. So you are just as likely to be murdered, raped, robbed, or assaulted, or assaulted here as anywhere else in the country. Right. So that's not bad. It's not high anything or anything like that. But let's talk about some murder, shall we? Let's shut up and give you murder.
Here we go.
We're going to discuss a case this week that I've actually seen a couple other places. Now, normally we do what we'll do is I don't want to do anything that other people do. So I'll look and I'll scour, and if I see another podcast has done it or anything, even if it's a little thing on it, I'm like, well, that's out. Because
you telling me you treat this podcast like your comedy, James?
Oh, Jesus. Trying to be original?
Google shit?
Oh, my God.
Why would you do that?
Trying to be original and shit. This case, I have seen a couple of places like that, but they never cover it right.
Okay.
They never cover it right. And that's the thing. It's like, why are we not going to do a really good case that people would be interested in?
Sure.
Because other people, there's a podcast on it that was literally 18 minutes long.
Why
we just spend more time on the
time?
Town we're in than that. And we're going to get so deep into the crime part. So I decided that with this one, I said, you know what? I don't give a shit if other people have done it. I'm not going to do that all the time, but this is an interesting case. It's in a goddamn small town. It's in our wheelhouse, and no one has covered it right.
Fantastic.
So we're going to do it our way. I don't care what anyone else has done.
We'll give this justice.
Let's do this. Let's give somebody justice. Let's talk about a young woman, shall we? Let's talk about Sheila LaBarre. Okay. Let us talk about her quickly. She's born July 4th. 1958.
Okay.
Oh, an Independence baby.
You betcha.
Her nickname.
She was the fucking gleam in somebody's eye.
Oh, yeah.
Point. Somebody was so happy.
So happy. The next day they
the
dressed
Memorial
her up.
Day parade is coming up, or did it just pass?
Just July. It's the 4th of July. It went bad.
Memorial is in May, right?
Yeah.
And Labor Day is in September?
September, yeah.
Okay. I mix them
They're easy to get mixed up, those two.
Because who gives a shit?
One's at the beginning, one's at the end of the summer.
Right.
But yeah, she because of her birth date, they call her the firecracker.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's that right there. That's what you want to be, the firecracker. So she grows up in Fort Payne, Alabama.
Okay.
So, Fort Payne, Alabama, 4th of July. I mean, they were just, they were super patriotic over that. Well, half the town was patriotic and half the town tried to wrap her in a Confederate flag instead. And they said, no way, she's born on the 4th of July. What are you doing? She is the youngest of 6 children.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody out there has ever known anybody who's had a large family and they're the youngest of many siblings, but most of the time they're an asshole. Usually,
they're
a lot of the time, they can be a little bit selfish if you're the youngest, depending on how young.
It's either one of two things: they're either spoiled beyond belief by their parents, or they're just like, "I've got five others. You're on your fucking own."
Yeah, they're just ignored. Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's never like right in the middle and like just loved perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
They're either completely discarded or like the favorite.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. It's 100% true, and that leads to weird psychological things, I feel like, with these people.
Both ways, goddammit.
Absolutely. Both of these people, her parents were married, so there wasn't any weird family thing, anything like that. As a child, she had some weird issues, had some weird things with animals, and we'll get into that more. But she's got some weird obsessions with animals and killing animals and caring for animals, and it's really creepy. She's a creepy
breaking
woman.
bones and resetting them to break them again?
Not that creepy, because most of her things are with rabbits.
Yeah.
So anything you do to a rabbit is not nearly as creepy as snapping a teenage boy's legs and then setting them and snapping them again, like happened in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Hilarious.
She had a very tough childhood, Sheila, though. This is terrible, and this shouldn't happen to anybody, obviously. No. From what I understand, there's rumors of incidents of her being a very small child, an infant, and having some form of physical or sexual abuse at that point. And then there's a documented case of 6 years old, when she's 6 years old, of her father being drunk and sexually assaulting her.
Jesus
at 6
Christ.
Years old.
How could you?
What a fucking monster. That's a monster right there. Horrible. And what you do when you do that is you're making other monsters.
Yeah, she's ruined forever.
You're ruining someone's psyche, or they go the other way and become either one. Either way, you're screwing this person up.
She's never going to have drunk sex ever. That's the worst.
No,
any sort of booze on a dude's breath, and you just want to kill him.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I don't think it keeps her away from it,
no?
but it gives certain emotions that are not safe for those around her. So this definitely screwed her up a little bit here.
For sure.
As I would imagine would here. She has an incident when she is young. Her father hit her in the head with a metal can of antifreeze.
He did what?
And knocked her out, apparently, and caused a little bit of loopiness in the old brain there, as you might imagine, I guess. Here. So. Also, too, there's rumor that a family friend of her father's also had some inappropriate relations with her, we'll say. I don't know the best way to put that, but he fucking diddled her, we'll say. So
as
this
a child, she's already warped.
It's horrible. She also, she at one point slipped and hit her head in a doorway and knocked herself out. So she's had a few head injuries, too, which does not help any of this. If you add head injuries to this cocktail, this shit is getting dangerous with the head injuries here. Her father was like a highway worker. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man.
Like a construction worker?
Yeah, just what part of the highway road crew. So, I mean, whatever. He's holding the sign.
Salter.
Who knows? He's coming home after a hot day in the Alabama sun, getting shit-faced and looking for somebody to take it out on, I feel like here. She graduated high school in 1976 from Fort Payne High School down there. So that's good for her, I guess. You got to,
It's a start.
It's a start.
She finished something.
And for her, she's probably like, thank God I can get out of this fucking house now, getting,
no doubt.
Molested and hit with antifreeze cans here. From there, she doesn't go to college or anything like that. She kind of dives right into the workforce, as you could say. Like I said, she's trying to get out of her house. It's never been more obvious.
Sure.
She works at a motel for a while. A motel in a small town, and that's depressing. Then she's an assistant administrator at a nursing home, which is better, but probably more depressing, though. People dropping dead. Oh, where's Mrs. Jenkins? She's like, okay, never mind.
She's not coming back. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay, here. But there's rumors of her killing a dog when she was a kid too, doing weird shit to fish,
Jesus,
like cutting them up in weird ways while they're alive that they don't need to be, and also rabbits.
I mean, I've cut a fish while it was still alive.
Well, yeah, because you're gutting it. But no, she's like doing it for fun.
Shit fresh.
Yeah, no, she's doing weird.
She's doing that to a goldfish, not a trout.
It's not. Yeah, she's not saying this is going to be delicious wrapped in some tinfoil with butter and lemon and some rosemary and roasted over the fire.
Oh, I'm so hungry now.
That sounds delicious, by the way. But no, she's not doing any of that shit at all. She also has a huge obsession with rabbits that we're going to get into because she's so fucking weird with the rabbits.
So creepy.
She likes drugs a bit too.
Yeah.
She likes pills. She likes weed. She likes Valium. Yeah, she likes some shit. You know what I mean? During the 1981 year, she has a suicide attempt, which isn't great. She tries to kill herself. I'm not sure exactly how she tried to kill herself, but she attempts suicide and ends up staying in a mental institution for 30 days to, kind of figure that out. As you should probably do if you're
It was
trying.
Obviously reported because that's where it usually goes.
Yeah, she was definitely going for results, I feel like. And so they were like...
She was trying.
Yeah, they were like, okay, let's not do this. But she gets out of the mental institution, and, you're very stable when you first get out of the mental institution. I can imagine you're ready to make major life decisions, right?
Yeah.
That's what
definitely on the good foot.
Yeah.
Jumping out of there going, now I'm back to work.
Anybody got a mortgage I could sign for? Any kind of long-term commitments I could make? Something like that? Is that possible for me to have?
Somebody help me plan out these next 8 months.
Anybody want to maybe marry me?
Yeah.
That's what she finds.
No way.
Yes, she does. She marries a man named John Baxter in New Year's Eve, 1981.
How the fuck did she meet him?
I don't know, but it didn't last very long. While married to this John Baxter, the first guy here, in 6 weeks of marriage, she filed for divorce, but he was the one angry about it because after only 6 weeks, he discovered here that Sheila had been locking his little girl up in a small room while he was at work all day.
No.
Locking his little girl up. Yeah. Not great.
You can't do that. In 6 weeks of marriage, she's already doing that shit?
By Valentine's Day, they were not together anymore, and then she's filing for divorce later on. So she's really got mental problems here.
Can you imagine, though, as a dude, like... He's got to feel great that he didn't have to buy her Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah, all right, later. Yeah, exactly. She rubs her little hair, ruffles his daughter's little hair and goes, thanks, little girl. Yeah, you got me out of something here.
Thanks, Brianna. We're going to be great pals.
Jesus Christ.
Daddy's going to love you forever.
Later on, the little girl that she's stuck in the room here, we have a quote from her about this.
Yeah.
She said, quote, "The marriage didn't last very long because as soon as the truth came out about how I was was being treated, he ran her off.
Good for him.
So good for him, exactly. Jesus Christ.
Good dad.
Before a year is up by December 14th, 1982, which is less than a year, she files for divorce from Baxter. So she couldn't even make it a whole year with him, and who knows after what she went through with her father, who knows what kind of piece of shit this guy was.
Yeah.
She's
just latching onto somebody to love her.
And a lot of times, if you have that happen to you as a child like that, you're either going to get the same thing as your dad, or you're going to get somebody completely meek that you can control.
Yeah.
And she starts out, I believe, with the like my dad type, and we'll figure out what she finds later on.
She sits down in a bar and she tells him, I just got out of the nut farm, and he's like, here's an easy one to bang.
That's perfect. She's going to find the abusers now, and then later on, she is going to find people that she can control a little bit. And we'll talk about that. She gets married again to a guy named Ronnie Jennings.
Yeah.
She's with him. That doesn't last long, and there's no real. We don't know if she was officially married to him or not.
Okay.
But there's different accounts of marriage and not marriage. But I couldn't find legal documents on this one.
Yeah.
Anything on record. 1985. She has a relationship with a guy named Sam Billiams.
Okay.
So she's just kind of bouncing around. She's 26 at this point. She's just looking for.
She's seeing what it's like out there.
You're out there
living
you
her
gotta
life.
do it. Yeah, you're living your life, finding people, hoping to find someone to be with.
Yeah, as somebody that's been manipulated, she's looking for a semblance of normalcy, and then she's realizing after being in these manipulative relationships, she doesn't like being manipulated. She wants to be the one manipulating.
That's what it is here.
She's like, I'm going to show these people.
The Ronnie Jennings fellow too that she had a little deal with here. He put it. In his words here, he said, quote, she's just plain crazy, to put it bluntly. Sheila didn't care about anyone. She just wanted everything her way. So he said that she often turned violent with her mood swings, and that is going to keep coming in.
Hey, fellas, she was in a nut farm. I mean, what do you expect?
Well, men are so stupid. We're like, we like that. We like a little crazy.
I like crazy. No, you don't. You
don't.
Crazy.
But I've heard you say that before. I like a little crazy. No,
not that crazy.
Not this crazy.
I like crazy, but not that fucking crazy.
Men,
not like tearing her own hair out while she watches daytime TV.
This isn't like
that's lunacy.
This isn't like romantic comedy. She's got like a little bit of a quirk to her.
Right.
And she'll dance on a table and sing along to Phil Collins. This is some weird shit she's got going on.
I kind of like a little bit of crazy, like in Wedding Crashers, the one that's jerking off Vince Vaughn under the table.
Yeah,
that's fun crazy.
That's fun. Yeah,
this
that's
crazy
this is not good
like
here.
Punching herself in the face crazy.
Well, this is Ronnie Jennings would lay awake all night afraid that she would kill him with scissors or a knife. So that's this kind of crazy. Her mom, his mother, Catherine Jennings, said, quote, she was very, very, very smart, but she was very, very, very mean also. Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's a lot of varies.
So what she does here is LeBar, she finds a personal ad. She's always looking for personal ads and chat lines we're going to get into. She's looking for, as people do, and in the 80s there wasn't really, you couldn't go on Tinder or Match.com or anything. It was either go to the bar or answer a personal ad. Those were your options. She finds a personal ad from Wilford J. LeBar. Bill, he goes by. He is a well-known, and he's a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And he's like, the town knows him very well. He made a lot of money.
Yeah.
He has a nice big
house. He's a
house.
Wilford, for God's sake.
Yeah, he does well.
Money.
He's moving pieces of your spine around. He better have goddamn money. This is in 1987 she finds this. He's recently widowed, too. Recently widowed, has a bunch of money, much, much older than her.
Yeah.
And, she said, this sounds like a good deal.
How much older?
I believe he is a good 30 years older than her. I'm sorry, 25 years older than her, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Which is a good amount. So she comes up there, and she basically, they have a younger woman comes up, and everybody later on, they always describe her as sexy, and she's like crazy and sexy like guys like. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
What this guy's looking for.
That's what he's looking for. He's looking
25 years older.
He just died.
I want somebody that fucks like mad.
Yeah. He's going to be expecting some wild shit here. Shit that him and his wife probably didn't do. I would imagine,
Pinky
especially
in the ass or some shit.
Yeah, especially while she was old and sick. I assume when she died. So it didn't actually
dead.
happen.
She's not, and it's not like they got a divorce and like she's going to come around and he's not spitefully banging this chick. He's just like, listen, that one's over. I'm going to do something entirely different. So much different that I'm going to get something crazy.
Well, what she does, they have a little romance, and what she does is she just inserts himself into his life.
Yeah.
She puts himself.
Herself. What are you doing?
She puts herself into his life. Yeah. Okay. She lives in an apartment above his office.
Yeah.
Then she moves into the farm, and off the farm that he has a big giant farm worth $1 million.
Yeah.
It's a nice farm. She just basically takes over his office as like the office manager. She takes over his house. She does all this type of shit. Her kids are pissed. His kids are pissed.
Yeah.
Laura Malisi is his one kid.
Yeah.
We're going to hear about her a lot. And she said she didn't trust this woman right away and didn't like her. Also, she's trying to take my inheritance, I think, is another thing here. So she lived in the farm for a while. They don't get married, but she takes his last name. I don't understand why. I feel like that might have been, I don't know, to get more... I don't even know. I can't imagine for the town to respect her more because she's married to the
I can't even think of a logical reason of doing that other than like weird. Proving to him that she loves him so much that
I guess
I'll take your last name even if you don't propose. Like, that's like really inserting yourself though.
And she just keeps it there too because I mean
like forever.
Well, she's there for years.
Yeah,
she's there for years. She's there from '87. Now we go up to. I'm going to talk right now about 1995.
Jesus,
she's still around.
8 years.
She's still controlling shit in his life. She lives above his office, and she, like I said, she's controlling his business. She has a lot of control over shit.
She hates that daughter so much.
Oh, you know she hates that daughter. Those two, and they go, nice to see you. Yeah, they're real.
She's like carving a turkey at Christmas, and the daughter comes in, and she's like, "How's my dad?" And she's like making motions of blowing him behind his back.
He loves that. He loves it. He takes out his checkbook every time I unzip his pants. Let me tell you something right now.
And rubbing it right in her face.
Yeah.
Here's something you can't do to get more inheritance. I'm going to blow your dad.
Have that. Can you do that? I didn't think so. So 1995, she finds somebody else to marry.
Oh, boy.
She keeps LeBar as her name, and she still hangs around the farm a lot and still controls his office and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
She's still keeping her she thinks I am going to get that inheritance someday.
Yeah.
I might have to marry people from Jamaica, which is what she does here.
What?
She marries a Jamaican native named Wayne Ennis in 1995.
Okay.
Big shocker. Not a real happy, blissful relationship. There's complaints filed in court. She claims that he tried to force her car off the road and then punched Sheila in the head and kicked her, is what she claims. But I'm not sure I believe this. And normally you say domestic violence, and I'm going to go, well, shit, I'm all ears. You know what I mean? I want people.
What'd he do to her?
What happened? What'd he do to her? But here, I'm gonna have to side with Ennis on this one here.
Right out of the gate, he wasn't in a mental institution.
No,
she was.
No,
like that kind of alludes to she's probably the instigator of this shit.
And she got him for a specific reason. And let's find out what I believe this reason might be. Apparently, there was. They were both living on the farm too.
Okay.
This is her and her Jamaican husband are living on his farm, which is super weird.
And she's got the dude's last name.
She's got the dude's last name while she's married to this guy and living at his house. It's super strange.
Oh, Christ.
One night in 1996, Sheila asks Wayne Ennis if they can go for a drive around the back roads and just, clear my head here.
A little country night.
Yeah, it's a nice little drive, and he's thinking, hey, this is good. Maybe I'll get blown under the moonlight. You know what I mean? This is going to be great here.
Some roadhead with the sunroof open.
Oh, man, the stars. Imagine the stars up there in farm country. Beautiful, beautiful times. She instead of any of that, Sheila told Ennis that she wished a horse would kick Wilfred LeBar in the head and kill him, and she thought of strangling him, but she said instead, "I'd like you to kill him, please, Wayne."
She asked what?
She asked Wayne to do it. He said, "I'd like to do it myself, but you know how things are. It looks bad with me."
I'd like to get Trigger to do it while he's changing her shoes, but...
or you can just do it.
Maybe you can just walk up behind him.
And we live in New Hampshire, and there's tons of black people up here, as we made mention of, so you won't stick out like a sore thumb and get arrested right away or anything. It'll be fine. Jesus Christ, this lady's a fucking... And this poor guy's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "I did not want to say no and have her turn on me.
Yeah.
When she is like that, I don't trust her. I hesitate. It just can't come out. I can't do that. I'm not a murderer, and Dr. LeBar is like a father to me."
You mean he
loved the guy.
He had a hard time telling a crazy bitch no?
Well,
she just propositioned him to murder somebody.
Yeah.
Now, if he says no. Now she's going to go find somebody to kill him because
well,
he knows.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I don't trust her.
No.
He said, I don't want to have her turn on me. That's the thing. It's like, at least if I'm on the inside, she's not trying to kill me. And he's such a nice guy. He said, I'm not a murderer, and Dr. LeBare's like a father to me. Like, I don't kill anyone, especially not a guy I like. You know what I mean?
We live in his fucking house.
Yeah,
what are
we talking about here? She files for divorce from Ennis at that point.
On grounds of, he won't help me murder.
The way she put it was that he's an abuser and all of that. She got a restraining order on him.
Wow.
And he denies all of this. He said that she hit him, she shoved him, she fired guns at him.
Yeah.
She fired guns at him and other people. She would not refuse to let him use the telephone. She burned his clothes, and she would make him sleep outside sometimes during the winter.
Crazy bitch.
Just to do it. And then she's like, oh, you'll put up with all that, but you won't kill a guy who's nice to you, and we live here? Fuck you. You're out. I'm going to file charges against you.
She's just like that typical woman that'll just burn your shit. And
not a typical woman.
Guns.
She's like not a typical real woman. She's like a typical woman from a song.
Yeah,
from like a 90s, from like a 90s.
Like a stereotypical
like an
scorn
Offspring
woman.
song or something, like a Blink 182 song. Like that's what it is. You asked me to kill a doctor. However bullshit.
Something poppy and upbeat talking about killing doctors.
So Wayne,
Travis Parker back there on drums.
Wayne said, quote, she had a handgun with her all the time. She points the gun at me and shoots over my head and told me she's going to send me back to Jamaica in a box.
Why doesn't he carry a gun? Sweet Pete, that's fucking...
This poor guy, too. He said, quote, I was ashamed to let anyone know I was living like this in America. Because that's why she picked him, because he wouldn't do that. Now she knows. In the beginning, she was picking people who wouldn't put up with her shit.
Right.
She's like, I need weaker people.
I need people that will put up with my shit and let me fire guns over their goddamn head.
He said, quote, she would rip her clothes off and strike herself, and then she would smile at me and call the police. She said the court is not going to believe, and don't get fucking mad at me, there's a goddamn quote. She said the court is not going to believe a black Negro over a white American woman. That's what he said.
You redundant bitch.
Fucking that was really unnecessary, but I think she wanted to stick the word in there.
You picked one word, you dumb bitch.
She wanted to stick that in there.
She wanted to say something worse.
She said it long, too. She said Negro, I feel like that, like a real asshole, you know what I mean? Totally. He said that the real reason they got divorced is because he caught her with another guy. All of that doesn't cause it, but he's like, now you can't cheat on me, too, on top of this shit. I
picture her not stopping either in the middle. When he walks in and sees her riding some other dude.
He's like, oh, man.
He's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm almost done. She just keeps going.
Yeah. But this is how nice Wilfred LeBaire is.
Yeah.
He says, Dr. LeBaire here says that, well, first of all, Ennis says he keeps coming back because he didn't really have anywhere to go, so he kept coming back despite all of this. One time, Dr. LeBaire told Ennis here that Sheila is crazy and she's going to kill you. So he gave, Dr. LeBaire gave Ennis money and took him to the bus station.
Jesus.
Said, get the fuck out of here, dude. This is too dangerous for you. He ended up getting deported, Ennis, in 2002 for overstaying his work permit. And they're going to want to talk to him later, though.
Yeah. They deported him and he's back to barbecuing chicken on a fucking grocery cart.
Jerk chicken, yeah. Grocery cart jerk chicken, like we say from the Trevor Burbick episode of Crime and Sports. You should listen to that.
So gross.
Shopping cart jerk chicken, baby. I'm sure it's delicious. So at this whole time now, through all of this, she's doing everything. She's living on the farm still.
Okay.
So I mean, this Dr. LeBaire here, he knows what he's dealing with.
Yeah.
Because she has gone crazy on him, and he knows she's so dangerous that he tells a man, she's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Let me give you money and take you out of town, like you're Vito Corleone and getting taken out of Sicily or something. What the fuck is going on?
And he's going to bed every night going, why did I fuck her? Why did I do that? What am I doing?
That's the thing. Oh, at one point she chases him with a gun.
Jesus.
She chases Dr. LeBaire with a gun too. This sounds familiar. This is what she does here. It's fucking nuts. This whole you could say nuts. I think pretty easily on this one.
I hate to turn it any gun talk, but this is the exact person you don't want.
No, you don't want her having a gun.
When they're talking about,
you don't want her having.
They're talking about common sense gun laws. Like this is the person.
How do you keep it out of her hands?
I don't know.
What do you say? Look in her eyes and go, I see a lot of crazy.
You've been in a fucking mental hospital. No gun for you
for 30 days, 10 years, 20 years before that. How do you even know? know
That's good enough for
not
me.
on the record. How would you find it, though?
I don't know.
That's the problem. There's no way to keep it out of her hands.
She doesn't deserve it, though.
No, she does not deserve a gun at all. She doesn't deserve a lot. But she's so crazy that at this point, like I said, she's really taking over the farm. She's taking over everything. The daughter of Dr. LeBare's daughter, Laura Malisi, went to court and got a restraining order to keep her away from the father. That was granted, but it was only for a year. It's fucking nuts here. Now, at this point, too, in the late 90s, she's dating a guy named James Brackett. Just dating a guy here. And in 1998, she's charged with second-degree assault because she stabbed him in the head with a pair of scissors.
What the fuck?
Stabbed him in the head with a pair of scissors. The case ended up being dropped.
Yeah.
The police ended up saying it was just a lover's quarrel.
Oh, boy.
These things happen. These things happen. If he stabbed her in the head, do you think it would have been a lover's quarrel?
I've argued with a lot of women.
Well,
never once pulled out a goddamn pair of scissors.
No, good God, you don't pull out scissors and stab somebody in the fucking head here. So this is she is out there, I would say, the easiest way. Year 2000, Dr. LeBare dies. He dies suddenly of a heart attack, which... I mean, that'll happen to an older guy, but it's still shady when she's around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because there's all sorts of chemicals and shit on farms that who knows what she put in his coffee. You know what I mean?
Induce heart attacks.
I'm telling you, dude. Yeah, I wouldn't put anything past this woman at all when it comes to that. What happens here, strange though, is he leaves her. I don't know how she forced him into this, but he leaves her his entire estate.
Everything.
Oh,
boy.
Everything.
Laura's going to have a problem with that.
Oh, you bet your ass. This includes the office in Hampton, his chiropractic office, 2 properties in Somersworth, the Portsmouth house also. So that's how many properties. And the 115-acre horse farm in Epping, which is worth $1 million at the time.
But the chiropractic office doesn't mean shit to her. Why does she want that when she's not a goddamn chiropractor?
Because she can sell it now. That's
a good
why.
point.
The whole estate's worth about $2 million.
Jesus.
So there you go. That's a lot to do there. Laura Malisi is, apoplectic would be the best word for it. I don't think pissed quite covers it. I think her hair had burst into flames and lasers shot from her eyes, I believe is what happened here.
Yeah, upon hearing the news, for sure, because at some point she has to assume that Dad's going to take care of her in his death, and then he dies, and all of a sudden...
you don't want her to have it, of anybody.
God,
I mean, Christ, even if he gave it to charity, at least it's not a psychopath
that happened to my
tried
family.
to kill him.
My wife's family, her grandmother died, and... Her grandmother's nephew from the other side of the family found out she was in the hospital sick, and he drove down and stayed with her
all the time.
for 2 weeks and had her change everything to benefit just him. $2 million.
That shit
all for
happens
him.
all the time.
Scumbag.
All the time. It's
People
so
are
common.
vile, man.
They really are. Well, Laura Malisi's pissed. She's telling everyone she knows that it was extortion and threats, and she's saying she obviously threatened my father.
Yeah, I would have got you health insurance with that shit. Goddamn,
that would have been fantastic.
Just to get you a little angry too.
I fucking need some.
You
trust
had a stake in that.
I do. Yeah, come December 14th to Chicago and put some money in my pocket for a live show. Get a goddamn health insurance. So get some health insurance out of this. Maybe I'll get it for Christmas. So
that'd be nice.
That would be nice. So at this point, she stays on the farm. It's her farm now. She's living the luxury life.
Do the elves build some Blue Cross Blue Shield? That'd be nice.
I don't think they do. Maybe they can throw it to me from the top of a parade float with
at minimum some
like a Shriner or a Santa Claus.
Anything.
Something. I'll take whatever. So she's hanging out here. She's doing well now. Now she's got all the money, the farm, the whole deal. Now life is good here. So what does she do? She starts getting into her passions. You know what I mean? Everybody has passions. You figure maybe, she's going to become do watercolors. Who knows? Maybe she's going to do crafting.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to start building things. Who knows what people's her hobbies are? Yeah. Hers are harassing the police constantly. That's what she likes to do. The Epping Police Department has a record of more than 100 calls from her.
What?
100 fucking calls from her.
Calling to ask the time of day?
No, never. They're all complaints.
What?
If someone calls the police station in a small town twice in a month, they're crazy. All the cops are like, "Oh, this pain in the ass, crazy
this woman
bitch."
Again.
100 times? Holy shit! They must have just said, "Just stay by her house. She'll be calling soon."
That's where the rookie goes.
Yeah, send him out there, and this will indoctrinate him quick into the force because She would do everything. She would also, too, she would fax them. She'd write letters.
She's faxing the police.
She's faxing the police. She's writing letters. She shows up to complain.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Neither did I. She shows up to complain in person. Hi, guys. Just want to level a complaint. She would complain about her neighbors across the road and say there was domestic violence going on over there. She would do.
She's awful.
Complain about other neighbors. Complain about this. Complain about the town. She also liked when they came to her house because she said she liked it when hunky police officers came out.
Oh boy,
she thought that was pretty good. She was. She wanted guys coming out and
give her something to rub too.
When they'd come over, there would. I don't think they're rubbing. They're probably just like, Jesus.
No, she's rubbing. When they leave.
Well, not even when they leave. She would come over, and they all said they'd find her in various stages of undress.
Get out of here.
She would be just with a robe open or topless or whatever, and then would also then give sexual innuendo and you like this, you like that. She's an issue, and they would be like, nope, we got to go now. And then other times she'd just be ranting and raving and acting like a lunatic. So she might have her tits out. She might throw a frying pan at you. We have no fucking idea. Go on, rookie.
If she's got her tits out and a fucking pair of scissors, run.
God, if you see scissors, get the shit out of there. They didn't want to deal with her. So time anybody said anything, they would just be, like, oh, Jesus Christ. So that's how she kind of got away with things, too, is because they didn't want to deal with her. And the James Brackett guy, in addition to stabbing him in the head around this time, she tries to run him over with her car, too. He complains about that. She also shot a gun at him. He complained about that, obviously.
She is a terrible murderer.
She's a terrible shot. I feel like she's trying to control them.
Terrible shot, terrible driver, terrible stabber.
Well, she didn't want to. She wanted to control them more than anything here. So now she's on the farm, and there is just all the neighbors say there is just guys in and out and in and out and in and out of there. She is pulling them in from all sides. Jesus. She gets on chat lines a lot at this point, like dating chat lines.
Yeah, like the numbers that you call.
Yes, she's doing that a lot. So she's just meeting anyone she can. I'm just whatever. I mean,
you ever do those?
No, God,
you
no.
never tried that?
Fuck no. Can you imagine me on the fucking phone with somebody?
I can actually. I would fucking watch that YouTube video of you
just
dialing,
me shaking my head and being like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" I have no patience for people at all. None. When I was single way back in the day, even to get laid, I have no patience. I'm not putting up with your bullshit so I can fuck you. It's not happening. I don't care. I don't need it that bad. I swear to God.
That's so fucking funny, shaking your head. No, I could see that phone call would be. I want to make you do it.
Jesus Christ.
With Sarah understanding that there's nothing going further than that. But I want to see you talk to some crazy bitch because they're all crazy on those phone lines. I've done it when I was 21. They're all lunatics.
They're sitting on a goddamn phone. Everyone of every gender is crazy.
Those
on there
women are nuts.
I'm sure the guys aren't much of a prize either. I mean, let's not blame this on the women.
No. I'm just saying I didn't talk to the guys, so I wouldn't fucking know.
That's true. Yeah, you wouldn't.
But I'm just saying the chicks on there, just like, what would your father say to you? Like that's what you want to ask him every time.
In 2004, she finds a guy at a homeless shelter to take in.
That's a good place.
She's going from week to wait. Look how much she's we'll call it escalating, but it's like de-escalating mentally. She picks weaker and weaker and weaker an immigrant that she can get deported, an old man, an immigrant she can get deported, some guy she thought she could stab and run over with her car, and a bunch of other people. And now this guy is a homeless guy.
The most desperate of all.
The most desperate. He's there for about a year, and we'll talk about some things that happened.
He's going to think he hit the fucking jackpot when she takes the clothes off and starts banging.
Oh, that's what I mean. She was thought of as to him, he was a younger guy too. He was her age, but he thought of her as like just this sexy woman. Yeah. And she would say, "Come stay at my house, and we'll have tons of sex."
On
and I have
$1 million
food.
Farm,
and he's homeless. Yeah. So he's like, "This sounds great." Holy shit! I have hit the fucking jackpot, man.
I mean, I know a lot of homeless people have a lot of mental issues, and they can't process like. They don't know what's a good situation and what's not.
No.
Even as a guy with a job and doing fairly well in life, if a woman of her caliber is asking me to come stay at her place and just fuck all the time, I'm assuming I'm about to die. Like, I think I'm about to be murdered because that's fucking lunacy.
You should definitely think that, I would say.
You've got $1 million at minimum at your disposal, and you want me? You're out of your fucking...
For what?
For real.
For fucking fodder for some... For
you want to know
what are you going to put me into?
You want to know what my ass tastes like? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
At 425 degrees?
My dick is ending up in the fridge.
For
That's
sure.
all I know.
Absolutely.
It's ending up in the butter tray.
Toes in a blender and everything.
So, well, we'll talk about toes later, actually.
Oh, boy.
There's some toes that we're going to bring up later. But,
terrific.
It's horrible, and his parents were his stepfather. This is funny. His stepfather's like, I can understand why he liked her at first. He's like, she was fucking him like crazy.
Yeah.
The mother didn't like that though. His mother was like, I don't like this lady at all.
The homeless guy's mom is like, no, get back out on the street.
Get her back on the street. It's better. Well, apparently all they did was do shitloads of drugs, and they were into like really weird sexual shit, like
eyes wide shut shit.
No, not like that. Like real sadistic kind of weird shit.
Oh boy,
stuff like that. They're both into some weird shit. And I don't know if he's into some weird shit, but she is, and he's gonna goddamn participate while he's staying in that house. That's
otherwise, when it's raining and he's dry, he's like, whatever, I'll do whatever you want.
She would hit him in front of people.
Like
this Michael Deloge would hit him in front of people. The parents tried to get him out of there, and it didn't work. So what she does, because Michael Deloge's parents are really trying to get him to leave.
Yeah.
So what she does is she forces Michael Deloge to make a video accusing his mother of abusing him as a child.
That's a good way.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
It says he said in this video, quote, "I'm starting to remember things about the past. You really messed me up. You really messed me up." And he's forcing her to do it, or she's forcing him to do it. And she basically at that point she makes him cut off all communications with
isolating him,
from her family. She gets worse after that, obviously. At one point, a neighbor watches Deloge limping down. This is in the snow. He's limping down a dirt road with leading to her house with a blood trail behind her.
Jesus.
Behind him, he's bleeding. He's bleeding. His ear had been sliced half off.
Holy Christ!
And he passes by the neighbor and just says to him, "Sheila," and keeps going. And the neighbor's like, yeah, obviously.
I know.
Another time, she stabbed him in the head with a pair of scissors.
Fuck.
I think she likes scissors, this lady. That's her weapon of choice. Yeah, she digs that, man. But still, he keeps coming back. He keeps coming back. The holdover, I guess, drugs, place to live. And drugs have a real... Drugs and sex, for someone who's really into drugs and sex, and you're giving them both of those things and a warm place to stay, he'll take a couple stabbings.
With zero means to get either of those things on their own?
Well, you could see somebody being like, well, I mean, maybe I can be cool. And you try to, like, rationalize how you can make it so she won't act like that towards you. And that's what people do in abusive relationships.
And
then,
that's the way you... I mean, granted, it's the same for either sex.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
That's how you for sure control a dude, because a guy's got like this whole prideful thing of I've got to be a protector, I've got to make money.
I don't think this guy has that at all.
But if you've got somebody that's willing to do all that shit for you, it's like, why have any drive to do anything?
What's the point? Exactly. So in the fall of 2005, Michael Deloge, who's 38 at this point, disappears. Gone. No one sees him, hears from him again.
Really?
Gone. Parents don't know where he is. She said, I don't know where the fuck he went. I don't know. He's homeless. He could be out there anyway. What do I know? So that's
took his
scary
dirty dick
there.
on down the road. That's
it, man. She said, go on down, because she's looking for new people.
Yeah.
She's looking for new people, and more people come in and out and in and out. And then she meets in February of 2006, right before Valentine's Day, she meets someone on a singles chat line again.
Yeah.
She meets a guy named Kenneth County. Okay, Kenneth County is young. He's 24 years old, which is much younger than her. She can control him. And also, not to mention, he has the mental capacity of a 12-year-old.
What the fuck?
He has he's a 12-year-old mentally. He has a form of autism. I think that's what they thought it was then. I'm not sure now if he'd be on the spectrum or not. But he had basically like a 12-year-old mentality. And so... very easily manipulated.
Sure.
Very easily manipulated by her. And God damn it, I'll tell you what, she manipulates the shit out of him.
Right.
They meet on Valentine's Day, 2006.
Yep.
They have sex in a car. So that's romantic.
It's a fucking great first date.
Oh, you know it, man. And right after that, right into the farmhouse he moves. Old Kenneth County, right in there. He never even went back to Massachusetts to get his personal shit from his parents' house.
Really?
She just said, no, you don't need it. I'll buy you what you need.
You've
Let's
got
go.
your dick. That's all I need.
That's all you need. his mother was super worried because he's not mentally, all the way there.
Yeah.
So she's worried. Her name's Carolyn Lodge. He used to call her every day and to check in, and he would see her pretty much always every day, but now he was just gone. And so Carolyn Lodge files two missing person reports about him.
Would.
As you would, yeah. She files it first one's on February 24th, which is 10 days after they've met.
Yeah.
They're already doing that. So the family ends up, they're filing missing persons reports. They're talking
10 days after he left the house.
Epping police, because he just disappeared. I mean, which isn't illegal for an adult, but when he says he's got diminished mental capacity and things like that, it's like, okay, let's start talking about this, especially when she tells the Epping police who he's with. They're like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, boy. This poor guy here. They said that she'd been...
You think that they were like...
Oh, boy. Here we go.
They were like...
Brace yourself, Mom, because his dick has probably already been fucked off.
That's been fucked off. But the good news is he's probably stabbed in the head with scissors, so there's that.
He's got a permanent smile that's got a knife carved in it. Cut in it. That's crazy talk.
So police...
they have to have warned her, right?
Who knows?
As a cop,
I don't know if they could or not. I don't know if they. Honestly, I don't know if they'd want to get involved or if they. Because they don't know the situation. They're just like, here we go, another one. No, they want away from her.
Yeah,
they don't want to deal with her. That's the thing.
Is it their
Countless
responsibility
times.
to warn the mom that their son that has diminished mental capacity is now involved with somebody that faxes them shit?
Well, he's 24. Bottom line is they don't.
Yeah.
There's no way to control an adult doing what they do here. So they send out Sergeant Sean Gallagher here. He's dealt with her over 24 times. He said so. He's like, I'll fucking do it. I'll just go and see what the hell this crazy fucking lady has over here. So they go. They do. He's listed as a missing person county. So they show up at 1:00 in the afternoon. It's Gallagher and Detective Richard Coate. They go to check on county. There's a gate in front of her house. It's locked and it blocked the property from the road. They see, they look on. They see all the shit that's on there. There's also a fence with barbed wire. The whole deal. So they park their cruiser outside of the gate and they climb through the gate's rungs to get in there because they're investigating a missing person. So they're going to go see if he's there.
They're breaking into Shawshank.
Yeah, they go up to the door and they see Sheila in there and they talk to her through the window. The Gallagher says, "Hey, is Kenneth County in there?" And she says, "No." And so the Gallagher says, well, there's a report, a missing persons report, and we need to know if he's here or not. So is he there? And she goes, okay, yeah, he's here. Like right away, I'm like, okay, she's fucking nuts. So Gallagher says, well, can we see him and check on him maybe? Like how many? Let's just go through every step of this here. She said, no, don't think so. She said, no, he's naked in the bathtub. You can't see that. And then she just left and walked away.
Wow.
And they're like, okay.
And they're just supposed to accept that? I guess they can.
No, they're there. They have to check on him and make sure he's okay.
They have to make contact.
They have to find out if he's there. So they're trying to find out. She said, yeah, he's in the bathtub. He could be dismembered in there for all they know, especially with this fucking lady. And that scissors sticking out of his forehead.
That's not lying if all those parts are in the tub.
Yeah, he is naked and in the tub. I did not say I did not give you
he was breathing.
Yeah, that's not part of it.
That's not what you asked.
I didn't say all the blood was in his body that he originally had to start with. That's not what I said here. So anyway, after a minute, she changes her mind and just brings him out. And I think she figured they're not going away until they see him. It's kind of their job.
This is a problem now.
So she says here he is. The officer said that he looked fine, and he said that he was there of his own free will. So they left. He's an adult. What the hell are they going to do? They can't keep a fucking guy. They can't do anything. So a couple days later, she lets a couple days go by, then says, you know what? Fuck them. I'm pissed. So what she does is she starts making phone calls to Officer Gallagher, saying that the police had no right to even come on her property. I want a report. I want a copy of that report that says he's a missing person. I will sue anyone who steps foot on my property again. This is bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. Unfucking believable, okay?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh boy, Jesus Christ, stay away from this crazy nut. So they stay away. Yeah. They let he's there. They let him do their thing. March 17th, 2006, they're at Walmart. Okay. Sheila and Kenneth County and Gallagher and Coate, the two police officers, or Coate, whatever it is, they respond to a call that there's a suspicious person acting disruptively at the Walmart Supercenter in Epping. Okay. They arrive. They find Sheila and Kenneth. Kenneth looks like he's just got out of a concentration camp.
Oh, boy.
He's thin, he's ashen, he looks injured, and he's slumped over in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair
He's in a wheelchair now. He's 24 years old. The guy's fine.
What the fuck?
Now he's in a wheelchair. He's all messed up. He has cuts all over his face and his hands. One of his hands looks broken. It's swollen, and he can't do anything. Sheila tells the Officer Gallagher that he got in a car accident, so he's fine though.
Right. Yeah. A car accident makes you lose tons of weight. I don't know if you know that.
Tons of weight. You look ashen. And she also, this was the store employees called because of his condition, obviously, and also because she was buying a bunch of big yellow diesel fuel tanks.
What?
That's what she's buying.
That's her purchase.
And they're sitting on top of him in the wheelchair, so you don't even see him. You just see fuel tanks.
She uses them as a grocery cart.
I saw a picture of it. It's insane. She gets super pissed. They're like, he says he was in an accident. She said she was in an accident. The officers, so they can't take him in custody or anything. I mean, people get in car accidents all the time. True. So as they're walking out, like the cops, they watch her and they said she has to help him get out of the wheelchair, and because it was a Walmart wheelchair, and he had to like lean on a shopping cart, and she had to help him into the truck.
He can't even walk.
Like, he is a disaster. Yeah. So on
and that's from a car accident. She's claiming that his behavior and his condition are because he got in a car accident.
So rather than her lay low, she waits a couple days and then calls Gallagher, the police officer, and says, "How fucking dare you characterize me as a suspicious person? I don't like that. I thought about it for a few days, and how fucking dare you say I'm suspicious? So what? I got a half-dead guy 20 years younger than me with fucking swollen parts and ashen and in a wheelchair with diesel fuel things on him. No problem. That's fine. Sure, he was fine last week, and his parents are worried about him, but how fucking dare you say that's suspicious? What's suspicious about that? Holy
ridiculous.
Shit. It's crazy, man. She also tells Gallagher at this point, he left anyway. He's gone now. He's not at my house anymore. Okay. So the next day...
Stop bothering me.
Right. He's gone. It's over. It's done.
Right.
So the next day, County's mother, again, calls the police again, and she said that... what's going on? I can't find him. County hasn't gotten a hold of me.
Right.
Where is he, basically? She says he's gone, but he hasn't got a hold of me, and I can't find him. So help me out here.
Sure.
So they said, okay, he couldn't do it on his own. She said he has mental deficiencies, and he needs help,
And
basically.
you saw him 2 weeks ago. The dude couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
There's a problem somewhere.
So at this point, she waits till 1 a.m. on March 24th, which is a couple days later, 2006, and Sheila calls Gallagher again.
Okay.
She called in the middle of the night. She's
At
calling
1
the cops.
She's calling the police.
He said, this is a Gallagher said, quote, she said that she wanted us to know that Kenny left and that he was a pedophile, and she was going to play a tape for me that would prove he was a pedophile. I told her to play the tape at 1 a.m. over the phone.
At 1 a.m., she's like, I got a tape that's going to prove some shit.
So she plays the tape over the phone. On the tape, it's her saying she's a justice of the peace, which is insane, in New Hampshire, and questioning County about raping children. And just being like, you raped them, didn't you? Blah, 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 blah. And County is just replying yes to everything in a real meek voice. Yes. Like she told him, you're going to fucking say yes to every fucking thing I say, or I'm going to break your other leg, and you're going to need worse than a wheelchair. So he, obviously, the detective is like, this seems a little shady.
Yeah.
The
Seems
cop,
a smidge coerced.
At the end of the tape, he can hear a heaving sound, and you hear Sheila yelling at County to stop faking that he was throwing up. And she said on the tape, Kenneth County is now faking that he's throwing up. Kenneth County, then she faints, and she says, Kenneth County is now faking that he fainted.
Did you watch this?
No.
Oh, God, I couldn't watch that.
No, it's an audio tape,
okay,
this part.
God.
So,
oh, my God,
it's
what?
crazy, yeah. So at the end of the tape, he's saying, why? He's crying. It's a mess.
What the shit?
It's a mess. And she's yelling and screaming and the whole thing. It's fucking nuts.
What a scene.
So they end up going to her house again. They're like, we got to fucking find her, find this guy here. So they end up going. There's no lights on in the house. There's no. All of her cars are parked there. They can see from the outside of the gate. Gallagher sees a burnt mattress in the front yard, which is a weird sign. I don't have any burnt mattresses. How many mattresses you burn in your yard?
It's also a bad sign. I've never once burned a mattress.
Never.
Not once.
Not in my yard, especially.
I did once when we were a kid. Blow up a waterbed mattress in the backyard and bounce on it. That was
like
a blast.
A lot of fun, actually. That sounds good.
You could sit on one side of it and then bounce on it from the other side.
Like
those fucking bladders that they put on the lake.
No, that sounds
only
like
there's
fun.
No water and you get hurt in the backyard.
Oh, you're obviously gonna get impaled with a rock or whatever else is on the ground.
That's great.
So these cops, they obviously go through the rungs of the gate again, and they go in here and they pass the burnt mattress, and there's another burn pile there. They use their flashlights and they see what appears to be a knife handle and a melted blade, tree limb clippers, a partially burnt chair, and a piece of a bone. Okay, the bone was approximately 3.5 inches long with a large piece of fleshy material attached to it, according to the court documents. The officers, they go up to the door, they knock, they identify themselves, no one answers. They go back to the car, but they sit there. They're concerned that the bone, mainly. That's the main thing.
Right.
They're like, the mattress would be one thing, but the bone is really suspicious.
It's really just weighing on my mind.
We really want to find out that that's not Kenneth County.
Sure.
Here. Let's just do that. So they stay there. They call the assistant county attorney, and they said they have enough evidence to do a well-being check on County. So they call for assistance. They do that. More officers come. They take their rifles and shit, and they walk up to the door here. They're just in case. They don't know what the hell they're walking into with this woman. So they knock on the door. They bang on the sides and the windows. I mean, they're doing a we need to get the fuck in here. They end up going back to the door, and Gallagher kicks it open because now there's a bone and a missing person and a crazy lady who stabbed people with scissors and shit. We need to know what the fuck's going on.
Sure.
And the county attorney said, do a well-being check, which means you can kick the goddamn door in to find out if somebody's okay. They do that with old people all the time. You know, I can't get a hold of my mom. The cops go over, kick the door.
There's also probable cause
dead
with
for
the
4
bone.
days. The bone is a big deal. That's what made them go call him. Like otherwise, it would have been like, I don't know, he's not here. But the bone, a little bit weird here. So they kick it open. They go in. They hear a commotion, and then they see Sheila walking from the front gate toward them. Now she's there. She said that Kenneth was not here. Cops said, can we look inside? She invited them in. She gave them a room-by-room tour of the house. She seemed happy to give the tour, like she was having company over. Like, we just redecorated. Come in here. Look at the wallpaper. Fucking ridiculous. They found a pair of sneakers that she said belonged to County in the basement. She told the officers they were not allowed to take them, though. They have to stay here. After the whole tour, they all walk outside, and so at this point, they're like, let me ask you one thing here. We get that nice tour, good house, like the wallpaper. That's very nice. You did it very well. They're even. That's hard to do. There's no bubbles or anything. But what about this bone we found out here? That's going to be an issue. What do you say about that?
The whole reason we're here.
She said it is from a rabbit and explained that she cremates her rabbits usually. And he said... You know, I cremate them all the time. So I do. I burn them in a pile on a mattress. Don't you burn your rabbits on a mattress? That's what I do. The officer said it's a little too big to come from a rabbit. It's 3.5 inches. And she got super pissed off and Jesus Christ. She said, well, it's either from a rabbit or a pedophile. I don't know. That's her answer, which I don't think that's normal. So the cop says, why did you just say it could be from a pedophile? And she said, I didn't say that. And they were all like, we're all standing right fucking here. You just say that. You just said that. So they said, well, can we take the bone to find out which it is? And they said, no.
It's
Get off my property.
Move.
Get off my property. So they had to leave.
Really? They can't even take it?
I say somebody should have knocked her with a nightstick and dragged her to the car and went, take this fucking bone. She's crazy.
We got some talking to do, lady.
She won't remember any of this anyway. So they leave. They go to get a search warrant, obviously, here. They go to get a search warrant to get the exterior. They come back. And Sheila's in her kitchen covered in ash and soot and holding a handgun when they get there, which is a scary sight. She looks like a coal miner with a handgun in her hands, like, holy shit, what the fuck? She told Lieutenant Michael Wallace that she'd burned a pedophile. That's what she said. They were like, pardon? And there was also Police Chief George Dodge is there, and she's like, well, yeah, I've been burning a pedophile. Obviously, I'm covered in soot. Jesus, you'd be too. You know what I mean?
So there was clearly pieces of him left after
She also said at that point, she told Kenneth County, he's in a bag out there. That's where he is. He's in a bag, and they look in the bag, and there's human bones in the fucking bag. So like, holy shit, Jesus Christ.
What the
jackpot.
fuck?
God damn it. So they said, could you possibly come down to the station and answer some questions? You know what I mean? She does. She's not under arrest yet. No. She just said she burned him. She didn't say she killed him. Right. So they're like,
she's not a murderer. She's just disposing of a body improperly.
Poorly. She's just bad at that. Right. She turns over a loaded pistol that she had in her waistband.
Here, guys, hold this.
Hold that, because she figured that was probably a thing here. One of the police officers said, do you have any more weapons? And she flashes her tits.
Oh, boy.
That's a weapon.
These are super.
And she said, all righty then. Okay,
dangerous.
Never mind. Yeah, I'm going to end up on a pile here. At this point, they have an interview with her. She gives them a suicide note that she wrote before they came. This claims that County was a pedophile, Kenneth County. She said that Kenny threatened to kill himself, and then he left the farm. Okay. She says, so that's all she says. She's like, he's a pedophile and drug user, threatened to kill himself, and he left the farm. Doesn't say anything about burning him or killing him now. Okay. Now she's like, I didn't say that. She's not arrested at that point. They have to let her go. She says, if I'm not under arrest, I'm leaving now. So she leaves. So now they come back with more search warrants the next day. Yeah. They take tons and tons of cops. They collect everything. They get Michael Deloge's clothing. They get into blood on a knife blade. They get blood spattered in the kitchen, in the living room, dining room, 2 bathrooms, a bathtub, human bones, human teeth.
Jesus.
It's a fucking horror story. It's a horror story. It's like John Wayne Gacy's house over here. It's fucking batshit. Police also find evidence of older burn pits that have layers of dust in it. They're wondering, how many people has she killed in here and burned? They have no idea. It's just dust at this point. So then she's interviewed again by the police because they're like, okay, let's talk about this here. She said that she arrived home, found the police there. So she said, it is what it is. Nothing happened. I didn't kill him. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So now they're like trying to figure out what the fuck's up with this lady. They start talking to her neighbors to see if they've seen anything. One of her neighbors said, this kind of lays it out too. One of her neighbors said, quote, she talked so quickly I thought she was on speed and bounced so erratically in her conversation trying to communicate 12 or 14 stories at once. She stayed for 2 hours bouncing from one story to the other.
Oh, that would be a fun visit.
That's what she's like here.
Oh, boy.
So now the police are looking for her. Now they can't find her. They go to talk to her again. She's fucking gone.
She's disappeared.
Yeah. Finally, on March 31st, they issue a warrant for her arrest. I don't know what the hell took that goddamn long.
No doubt.
Turns out, we find out later that she hitchhiked out of town. April 1st is a nationwide manhunt. They're looking everywhere for her. The police chief said, quote, it's the information that has been uncovered by these various agencies that led us to seek an arrest warrant, obviously, about all the different police forces. They said she could literally be anywhere. We are taking all measures to locate her nationwide. Wow. Dr. LeBaire's daughter, Laura, she gets interviewed. If they're saying, do you think she's capable of violence? They're just trying to talk to everyone around her and get something.
I want to hang out with Laura. She sounds like a
sounds
party.
Great.
Yeah.
She said, quote, she has made threats at gunpoint. I feel very badly for the County family because I fear Kenneth is not coming back. Yeah. Well, no fucking shit. He's not coming back. And also, she had talked to Laura Malisi had talked to her ex-husband, Wayne Innes, because he loved the father.
Sure.
And Malisi said, quote, Wayne told us that Sheila asked him 2 times to kill my father so they could have the farm and practice. Wayne, who is the nicest guy, said he liked my father and would not do that.
Good for him.
He's a decent guy, Wayne. He's man, I'm just trying to get along, man.
I want to get away from this woman. She's beating me for Pete's sake. I want out.
Then Malisi goes on to talk about how Sheila coerced her father to put her father to put her name on everything. Malisi said, quote, I believe she came up here to reach that goal. She knew he was a doctor that had money and property. She knew he recently lost his wife and that he needed help at the office.
Well, fucking mission accomplished.
Yeah, Malisi says, quote, when I talked to her the first time on the phone, I said, Dad, you don't want her in your life. She's bad news. This girl knew immediately.
Fucking understatement of the century, too.
There was beef with the whole family. Apparently, her cousin Ed was also a chiropractor and was one of his business partners, one of Dr. LeBaire's business partners. He used to live in the apartment under the office, but she wanted that as her own little kind of fuck den.
So she tossed him out?
What she did, she tried to raise the rent because he wasn't really living. He wasn't paying much rent because he was part of the practice, and she had him. She said, "You're going to pay more," and he said, "I'm not going to pay more." What the fuck? No. Yeah. So she said he had a Doberman. This Ed, and she said, I tell you what, the rent's going to go up to $700 or I'm going to kill your fucking dog. How's that? He said, no. 3 days later, dog dropped dead.
She is straight gangster, man.
3 days later, dog's dead.
Just dead.
Dead dog, not sick, just dropped dead out of nowhere.
Perfectly healthy dog, and now it's dead.
Yeah, so she says also, Malisi, quote, before he died, my father called me and we made plans to go riding. He took me into the living room to show me where he had hidden money for my brother and I, and she had control of all his accounts. He probably thought the money was safe on the farm, which it was not because it was not there. Laura Malisi even says that Sheila, quote, she stiffed me for the catering bill and the musician for the funeral, too.
Wow.
Took everything and also made him pay for the funeral. absolutely not a good person here.
A musician at a funeral.
A musician at the funeral. Well, yeah,
That's
they have
amazing.
like a harp player or maybe they play amazing. Rich people do different shit at funerals.
That's fucking
Jimmy.
awesome. I want nothing to do with that.
I'm not wealthy enough to have any sort of.
I don't even want
musician at my funeral.
I don't know that I want to be that wealthy. If that's got to be a thought and an argument and a talk, I don't want it.
You could put it in your will, what you want.
It's here right now. No, don't do it.
April 2nd, she's found in Revere, Massachusetts. They find her. She had her hair cut and dyed red using a different name.
The Joker.
The whole deal, yeah. Absolutely. She is found outside of a Taco Bell in Revere,
Perfect.
which is where you find all the major criminals. You know what I mean? That's where John Gotti was taken down, outside of a Taco Bell in Revere, I believe, right?
Just picking up a bean burrito.
That's where they got Dahmer, I think. It was not in his apartment. It was outside of a Taco Bell in Revere, Massachusetts.
Although Gacy may have been at a KFC.
That's possible.
He ran one, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, several, I think he owned. She gave them a fake name initially, but they were like, no. We know who your crazy ass is. Come with us here. She
put the scissors down, lady.
Yeah, put them down. She had a large amount of cash and marijuana on her. She's like, I know what I need. Weed and cash. I'll bring that shit with me.
Sounds like a good trip, though.
That's not a bad trip. not a bad trip.
She's just fucking and getting free rides and then smoking weed and spending cash at Taco Bell. That sounds great.
Man. Not bad at all. So she said they sit her down. And she tells another version of what happened to Kenneth County. She said that she'd renamed him.
Oh, boy.
He was no longer Kenneth County. His name was Adam Olympian LeBaire now, which is insane. And then she said she'd cut off the relationship when she found out she was a pedophile because she hates pedophiles. Yeah. That is number one. She said she didn't kill him, though. She said, quote, nothing bad happened. I fell asleep. I woke up and he was gone. Oh, that's it. Weird. Whatever. And during this interview, she'll change the subject. Yeah. She'll talk about him being a pedophile. She'll talk about her family. She'll start talking about the neighbors and their domestic violence again. She's like, what in the fuck? She said
Kenneth disappeared, but did you guys know those people across the street fight?
Oh, I hear all sorts of. You should hear them argue. He is not polite to her.
You guys
want
to meet my rabbits?
I got tons of them. She said she burned the mattress because, quote, she'd slept on it with a pedophile.
Oh,
who wouldn't burn it? You know what I mean? She said maybe at that point, while it was burning, Kenny possibly might have fell into the fire. She's not sure, though. She said, I never harmed him. I don't know anything about it. He might have fell in the fire. And then she also said, but I don't feel bad he's gone.
No,
I don't feel bad about his disappearance.
He's a pedophile.
So what they do is they charge her with first-degree murder of Kenneth County, and she's denied bail.
She has no explanation of how teeth and bones are all over the fucking place.
Well, she kind of said maybe he fell in the fire. And then also Michael Deloge, she said, I might have burned him too. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not positive.
They fell in a fire and spontaneously combusted and exploded everywhere.
She had 8 different versions and bones and burned shit. So they said, tell you what, let's charge you with 2 murders and we'll fucking sort this out later. What do you say here?
We'll let a judge decide.
Yeah, let's do that here. So pre-trial, they obviously try to suppress the evidence, seized, which doesn't work at all. The whole deal. She's full of shit, and she's really trying to bring it home hard here. She enters a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity and files a notice of the insanity defense. At the same time, she waives indictment here of for a plea. She pleads not guilty by reason of insanity to the murder of Michael Deloge as well.
Yeah.
So she's like, I am crazy. I don't know if you folks have been around me for 5 minutes, but I am crazier than a shithouse rat. Let's do this. So she's sitting here. It's May 13th, 2008. The trial goes on. She has her attorney, this poor bastard, Jeffrey Denner is his name. He had to just be like, I don't even know what to do with her. What do I do with her? She's not helpful either. She's probably flashing her tits, and he's like, I need statements. Do you have anything that can help me? Your tits aren't helping, okay? They're not.
I do have a statement. Look at these. Touch them.
Boom,
feel them.
Weapons.
Grab a hold.
He also has psychiatric reports here this whole time here. She is saying she has several psychiatrists that are like, oh, she is crazy as shit. She's a psycho. She's nuts. She told them that they were pedophiles, and then she'd been a victim of incest, and she wanted to rid the world of pedophiles. The jury hears hundreds of recordings.
I've been a victim of incense, though.
Of incense?
Yeah, when somebody just burns one and you walk in the room and you're just like, what the fuck is that?
What is that? Goddamn honeysuckle? That sounds like shit.
You're putting smoke in the air and trying to make it that's supposed to smell. Do you really?
Yeah,
oh, it's vile.
I like it. Depends on the flavor, though. I like the fruity flavor.
Oh,
I dig it. Yeah.
You're burning. You're putting smoke in the air. That's not good.
I like that.
That's
I like
not
smoke.
good at all.
I like it, Jimmy. Damn it. I like it. What are you doing? What are you doing for smell, huh? You got Glade plugins over there?
No,
I
got even better. I got better. I got plugins like a woman? I got candles, man.
Candles? I have candles,
so many candles.
What do you think they're putting in the air?
That's not smoke.
Something.
I got wax burners.
You blow it out.
I got
There's
a wax.
smoke. blow it out and there's smoke.
And then it smells like
judge
shit
my
for 5
incense.
minutes.
Oh, it does. It smells like burned wax. It smells like wax lips that were in a fire at that point.
I like those fucking those jars that have a light in them, and then they have just wax on top.
Yeah,
and the wax melts down.
Okay, this is way
awesome.
too. This is not a conversation we should be having anymore. I'm starting to really doubt my own.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
I'm starting to doubt my own sexuality at this point, which is it's fine, but I mean, whatever. Par for the course, I guess. I don't really care.
I hate incense.
I don't care.
If you're going to burn them, at least
if I'm
brace
fucking
me.
gay, I'm gay. It's fine. I don't care, right? I don't give a shit if you're burning
I'm just
incense.
saying, if you got incense, just brace me that it's going to be burning.
Rather than that, let's talk about dead people rather than oils that smell nice. Although I do like oils that smell nice. So the defense psychiatrists say that she was abused, obviously. She projected her experience onto other victims.
Yeah.
That, you know, she is convinced in her mind that they're pedophiles and that she was actually there was actually justice being served, which I don't understand that.
It's bizarre.
Also, an odd thing, she was a notary public. Like a stamp that's a notary. I figure that was for the office because she worked in the chiropractic office. She'd have to notarize things. She thought, and she's told the police this, that she had some kind of special authority to kill pedophiles based on paying $25 to get a stamp. Literally.
What?
That's what she said. She said, I felt like as a notary, I had the obligation to kill these guys.
That's my responsibility now. Batman's a notary. What the fuck?
She sent $25 to a state office to get a stamp and a little notebook, and that gives her authority.
Go.
Wow.
Go kill everybody that touches kids because you can do this.
Her psychiatrist here, forensic psychiatrist, or psychologist, Malcolm Rogers, says that she either has a schizophrenic affect disorder or a delusional disorder that caused her to mistakenly believe that all of these men are pedophiles and believe them.
Those aren't mutually exclusive, though. You can have both of those, by the way.
Yeah. Absolutely. But he's thinking one or the other because he's a doctor and whatnot. So he says that he also believes that she... What are you, making a fucking diagnosis from 20 years ago from a person you've never examined and never gone to medical school either?
But I do know you can have both of those.
You can have a lot of things, too. You can have cancer and AIDS at the same time. If someone's got cancer and someone else has AIDS, you go, you can have both of those. Yeah. No shit, you can have both of them. But she doesn't, is what we're saying. She's one or the other. I'm not sure. I think she's got both of those and more. I think you're right.
Holy shit, there's way more to this
She's got
party.
a whole suitcase full. The psychiatrist here, his psychologist, he said he also believes that she believes that she once died and was sent back to Earth as an angel with special powers on a mission to kill pedophiles.
Why are we having a trial?
That sounds like a movie right there. That is a fucking movie.
At that point, they just got to go, no need for a trial. Lock this woman up forever.
Anybody out there who is a writer or trying to pitch that.
That's the one.
Exactly what I just said. A woman dies and is sent back to Earth as an angel with special powers and a mission to kill pedophiles. That's a fucking movie.
Everybody's
right
on board with that.
Everyone. Yeah. Oof. She told the psychiatrist that she was driven to kill Michael Deloge because he was hurting and killing all of her rabbits.
Okay.
He was being mean to the rabbits.
Yeah.
So he said they both ran into the house and ended up in the kitchen where she grabbed a chain and began beating him.
Oh, boy.
She said he was still alive but bleeding from the head. She said that she told him to go to the hospital, but he said that he deserved to hurt because of how evil he was. So he just went to the couch and just laid there for about 2 weeks until he died. 2 weeks on the couch, just dying from wounds. And she was like, that's fine. She said that Kenneth County's death was an accident. She said she woke up one morning and he wasn't in bed, so she got up to look for him, and out of nowhere, he was choking her. And she was like, what happened? So she wriggled out of his grasp, and she said, and he told her at that point that he was only there to steal her money, and he wanted drugs, and so they argued, and somehow in the bathroom, there was a struggle, and he slipped and hit his head on the tub.
And that was it.
Done. Well, let's see what she said. She said, quote, he just stared up at me. He didn't move. I started CPR on him. I didn't know what else to do. I was screaming his name. I tried everything. And in a second or two, I immediately started CPR on him. I used to be certified years ago. I did the best I could. Holy shit. So then, once she knew he was dead, she said that she should set him on fire to give him, quote, a kind of a Native American funeral. What the fuck is that? But you can't do that.
She just makes up shit as she goes.
She really does. And I thought Vikings burn people.
I watched a movie once, so I can give proper Indian burials.
Yeah. So, one saying...
What the fuck is she doing?
Oh, my God. It's crazy. So
her stories are fucking great, though.
They are crazy. Oh, she's crazy. Then they show the jury videos and tapes. They play the tapes of her, yelling at County and did all this shit, yelling at him. There's one tape where she's saying, you flipped and did me wrong. You brought the police here and blah, 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 and getting mad at him. They show her one of her police interviews initially when they brought her to the station. And in that interview, she has a rabbit with her. Yeah. And she brought a rabbit to the police station. And
we're going to take you down for a question. Yeah. Let me get Fluffy right quick.
God, she's just petting the rabbit. At one point, the rabbit pisses all over her. And she just grabs a paper towel and wipes it off and keeps petting the rabbit. She doesn't even be like, oh, shit, my bad. I got to go wash this off. Covered in rabbit piss.
Yeah.
No problem. Wow, this is fucking crazy, man. They bring her sister on the stand. Her sister tells horror stories of her being her childhood, alcoholic, abusive father. They talk about her suicide attempts. They talk about all this crazy shit that she did. It's mainly just this is building up her case.
Sure.
Her sister is like, you have no idea. She said that the sister said that one time as a kid, not only did the father's friend molest her, the father molested her. She said one time there was a man's face in the bedroom window in their room as a child, and then she became super nervous after that and was always locking windows and doors and became super paranoid and that sort of thing. And so she's saying all of this. They're building a case, basically. Yeah. During all this, she's LeBear, Sheila is crying in the court, acting like wailing and crying. The whole thing is wild. They play the video, like I said, of the rabbit, which imagine if you're a juror and you're like, oh my. They play surveillance video of County in the wheelchair at Walmart, and which is like you could see this poor guy sitting there. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. In court, she'll yell out. She'll just, he was a pedophile, and just that was that. So it's like, okay. I mean, she's also trying to say that she's crazy.
Of course.
So,
she's pandering to that side of the courtroom trying to get attention.
Yeah, the state's psychologist in the end ends up saying, quote, it's not that she killed them because they are pedophiles. It may have given her an excuse to kill them because she is sadistic. Yeah. That makes much more sense to me than the theory that she thought it was morally right and she had to rid pedophiles from society. Right. Like, let's go with the obvious here. God damn it. Like, they show a video of this psychologist interviewing her, and he, like, just tries to, poke the bear. Yeah. And at one point, he says, like, well, I don't think it was Deloge. I think hurting the animals. I think it was you hurting your rabbits. She freaked out. I didn't kill my animals. I never hurt an animal. And she's throwing shit. Like, he's like, okay.
That's a good tool. Just imply that she fucked up and see how she reacts to that. That's brilliant.
It's brilliant. So finally, June 21st, 2008, is the jury is out. I don't know how long it would take them to. They have 13 hours.
7 seconds.
Well, it's 13 hours, but I would say I don't know how long it would take me. Yeah. They end up taking 13 hours of deliberations.
How long does it take to walk from here to the jury room and back? That's how long it takes.
How long does it take to make eye contact with the juror next to you and go, what? The second day of trial? Yeah. Like, whoa.
The fuck are we sitting in?
I know we're not supposed to discuss this, but we can roll our fucking eyes here. And wow, is she crazy?
Did you guys see how she reacted to getting pissed on? Can we just not have this trial?
That's enough right there. That's enough right there. So they end up finding her guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. Luckily, as the jury read it, the family burst into applause, which is good. Different members of all different families, and the town too. Probably the cops too. They're like, "Thank God we don't have to deal with her anymore."
Yeah, no doubt.
Holy shit.
The fax machine applauded.
Oh my God! Thank you. Good Lord. They end up. Kenneth County's mother is there. Yeah. She says, "This is for my son. For 2 years, my son could not rest. Aww. Now he can rest." Her lawyer plans to appeal, obviously. Sure. He said, quote, "It continues to be our belief that she's deeply crazy and insane." Okay. We also understand there's a huge amount of emotion in this case that clouds the issue. That tends to happen when you kill 2 people and burn them.
I love that a lawyer says she's deeply crazy.
Deeply crazy and insane. She is fucking whacked in the head. I think he just put it like did a little circle in his head. Anyway, that was one of those. She's crazy. I don't know. So, holy shit, man. So the jury sentences her to 2 life sentences without parole.
Whoa.
Sheila is getting her ass to prison, goddammit. County's mother said, quote, Sheila LeBaire took advantage of my son, who was a kind, caring, gentle young man who could not socially defend himself. She was a master of evil who deliberately tortured him. Sheila LeBaire stripped my son of all his dignity and self-worth, and in the end, she murdered him.
Yeah.
If she had been found insane, it would have just been further hearings to see when they let her out. Like Hinckley basically would do one of those. Every 5 years, they'd review.
And Chapman.
May 28, 2009, they auction off the farm.
Really?
It sells for $600,000.
Whoa.
At that point, that was right after the economy collapsed. Remember, the housing market fell out.
$1 million home took
got
a
it for
shit.
half, pretty much. There was a big picture of the auction because they did it on the front lawn with a little podium and everything. So a petite woman in an overcoat bought it. That's all we found out.
It's a little lady with a paddle.
That's it. She bought it. I guess, who knows? So July 2012, this nice petite woman has her own little farm.
Yeah.
And on that farm, they find some toes.
Oh, my God.
And on that farm, they find some toes.
Dude,
fucking A.
Is that how it goes? Or is it E-I-E-I-O?
I have no fun. Now you confuse me.
Oh, that was Bingo. That was the song you were doing.
Yeah. And on that farm, they found some toes.
Oh, it was Old MacDonald.
T-O-E-S. I don't know. Fucking whatever. So they find some toes.
Old MacDonald had a farm. That's the one.
And
E-I-E-I-O.
on it was some
It was
toes.
10 toes, right.
So they find toes.
Yeah.
They have no idea who it's from or whatever. They know it's not Deloge or County.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, that rules out too. So they say, quote, investigators did find remains of a third person. There's no way to determine who it was.
Oh, my God.
Unidentified man. That's all they said, is that they know it's a man. They don't know how long they've been there. They don't know anything.
Through DNA, you can tell that
it's a guy,
gotcha. How can you look at a toe and be like, that's a dude's toe? Because I've seen some women's feet that look pretty dude-like.
Definitely. We'll say she's killing guys.
Yeah. Assuming she's only killing dudes.
Yeah, they said the toes were located out near her property, kind of on the edge of it there. She probably said, let me toss these. I figure she tossed them like a handful like Dahmer did with his first bones. He just spun around.
Like she's overseeding the grass.
Yeah, it says, if additional information is developed that indicates those toes belong to someone who met with foul play, we would look into that, the police said.
10 toes, how the fuck else do those come off? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
You got a pretty goddamn good story if those just come off.
Yeah, absolutely. So now she's in prison for a few years. She writes to the newspaper while she's in prison. The New Hampshire union leader says she wants to serve her 2 life sentences in New Hampshire or Massachusetts. Yeah. There's some sort of inmate exchange, and she ends up in Florida. And she doesn't like it down there. She says, quote, the truth is I'm afraid and in fear for my life. 2 white female staff members abused me physically and psychologically in May 2012. So she's saying that. She's also saying, Jesus Christ, she says she's writing letters saying that the staff began a cover-up with her abuse. She said, quote, this is a very corrupt prison, which I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's prison.
They all are. She said, she's just talking, she's saying everything. I miss here. They don't like me down here because I have an accent, because I have a northern accent, even though she's from Alabama. I don't understand it. She said, I'm a Yankee. I even have a light Yankee accent. Well, put on your southern one, asshole. You're from Alabama.
And who says Yankee, by the way?
Yeah, down south they say Yankee.
Do they still say that down there?
Yeah,
really?
You bet your fucking ass.
Jesus.
You bet your ass, man.
You lost. Stop it. You're all Yankees now.
No shit.
Everybody's a Yankee. Shut up.
Her lawyer got letters, too. She wrote letters to everyone. Her lawyer did, and they asked her lawyer, and her lawyer, who's not her lawyer anymore, said, quote, I don't know what's going on. Prisons can be abusive places. And he kept walking. I was like, fuck do I know?
I mean, that's what it is. That's why you don't want to go to prison.
He also said, quote, she wanted to be sane, but she was the craziest person I ever met. When the verdict was read, she collapsed in my arms and said, thank God they know I'm sane. She was happy.
What?
She was happy that the jury judged her as sane. Doesn't matter if she's going to prison. She collapsed and said, thank God they know I'm sane. That is the craziest person I've ever fucking heard of. But I'm happy she's in prison. She doesn't belong anywhere else. Her sister said that, she did awful things. She didn't get the death penalty, and no one has the right to mistreat her, goddammit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean...
They talked to the prosecutor, the assistant attorney, Kristen Wilson, 10 years after the trial, and she said that, quote, Sheila LeBaire herself was fascinating. She just said it was the most fascinating case she's ever encountered. Still, she said, quote, she was at one point in time a beauty contestant. She is from the South and can turn on a Southern accent and charm, so she could be very charming, but also very intelligent and very terrifying. No shit.
Yeah,
so
she's sitting there stroking a rabbit while it pisses on her.
And she kept denying it, but they kept doing tests, and they found DNA and shit. And she said, the prosecutor said, I think, quote, I think some of the progressive forensic technology really got her to the point where she accepted responsibility, but proceeded with the insanity defense.
That's ridiculous.
So, yeah, there all sorts of people were coming forward. There was tons of other people. They found hundreds of audio cassettes of her speaking to men on chat lines.
What?
She would just record them all.
Just recording shit.
Tons of them. They said hundreds of audio cassettes.
That's somebody that's a weirdo. People that just record shit for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know if it's spank bank type shit or what, but it's crazy. They said they're possibly going to look into the toes. They don't even know.
Yeah.
One of the residents here said, quote, you tend to think of Epping as being a small town. What does that mean, a small town, where everybody knows what everyone else is up to? Everybody is watching everybody. So you would think that people couldn't just come from a farm like this and disappear, or come to a farm like this and disappear. Yeah. The police, Cote, one of the police detectives said, quote, people started realizing that even in a small town where everything is nice and beautiful and everyone knows each other, that we can still have a horror going on in someone's home that you don't know about.
Bad shit happens.
He just that's the mission statement of small town murder. That right there sums up our whole fucking show. Exactly that.
Bad shit happens everywhere.
Poor Dr. Wilford J. LeBaire is buried in Hillside Cemetery in Seabrook in Rockingham County, New Hampshire.
Nice.
Poor bastard. And Laura Malisi still doesn't have a fucking dime out of that.
No doubt. She didn't even get restitution. Well, she doesn't get restitution.
She didn't get the farm.
No.
She got shit. She got nothing. Wow, that's a crazy story. Like we said, we've heard that story a couple of times. We've heard her name.
Right.
We did an 18-minute one here, a 20-minute podcast here. I don't think anybody got into it as deep as we just did. So fuck you guys. Not you guys, but fuck the people who did it first, because we do it better.
They
That's
likely skipped the rabbit piss.
They skipped a lot, probably, I think. We got all up in that ass, and that's what I like to see. If you like that, everybody, please get on iTunes. We beg you for 5 stars.
Sure.
Anything you want to say, like we said, tell us what you're wearing for Halloween, and we'll be excited about it. But it just helps us on the business end. Yes. If you want to go to patreon.com/crimeinsports.
Crime in Sports.
There's the one. You can donate to us there, and every cent is appreciated. Like we said, it's so appreciated. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one.
And you can email us also at that address, or if you want to get a hold of us on other social media, you can do it on Twitter @MurderSmall or Facebook.com/SmallTownPod.
Those are them.
And Jimmy, you have a list of our producers, our heroes, our goddamn heroes of the week. These are the people that have been amazing to us this week and help us continue to do this show. Jimmy, hit us with it.
It's been amazing. Thank you guys so much. And keep the emails coming. We read every one of them. Even if we don't get back to you, I promise we have read it. Linda Prost, our jogger extraordinaire. She's out running the country still. Thanks for listening, Linda. Chrissy Ann Castaldi and Jess Landgren. The two of you are fantastic.
Linda and Jess and Chris, you guys are amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you so much. All of you.
Very, very much. Thank you. Heather Cotton, Emily Ham, Diana McCann, Ann Fan. I think it's Ann. A-N-H.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
That's a good name. Aaron Tanner, Carolyn Jackson, Jennifer Harris-Frowen, Laura Sinclair, Latasha Jacket, Paulina Kyriakos, Mary Faust. She donated twice. Thank you, Mary.
Wow, thank you, Mary. That's amazing.
Kathleen Hoke, Karen Siefker, S-I-E-F-K-E-R. C for Seifker? Whichever. Thank you very much, Karen. Kasten Johnson, Carrie... It's an easy one. Carrie Murray. How do I not know how to do that?
That's as easy as can be.
Sarah Gilbo, Dusty Paddock, Stephen Rossiter, Yasmin Wallace, Christopher Azcariga, Kelly Mack, David Skews, Hallie Warren, Shelley Warnos, Melissa Silsby, Jan Osterlitz, Dee Dee Kohler. Thank you, Dee Dee. Her credit card got canceled, and she went right back in to set up her donation once again.
That's
because
amazing.
It all got some fraud or some shit, whatever.
That's great.
Thank you, Dee Dee. We really appreciate you. Lisa upped her pledge. Kelsey Burke, Sarah Doctor, Michael Vandenbrink, Daniel Belusi, Ashley Voduty upped her pledge. Courtney McKnight, Laura Dixon, Jill C, Katie Early Mahoney, Lindsay Yazdnell. That's so tough. So many consonants right in a row. Ryan Hansen, Corey Graham, Tim Weissner, Ashley Malon, Jonathan Edwards, David Quills, Carrie Clark, Kristen Jiminy Christmas. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, got that.
Quintiliani, That's so difficult.
No, it's
Kristen Quintilinani. I'm trying so hard to say it fast.
What? Is this as bad as Pietragallo?
It is.
All right.
Quintiliani.
Well, good for you. Thank you, Quintiliani. I love you. And I'll pronounce you. Hey, Quintiliani. Good to see you. I can pronounce an Italian name.
Greg Gernitz, Danielle Longmore, Ryan Duty or Duddy, Valerie Galloway, Anthony Kaiser, Stephanie Slaza. That's got to be right. Roxanne Townsend. I'm sure I'm wrong. Logan Abbott, Abby Jubert, Samantha Statterston, Isla Morgan Pierce, Angel Cantwell, Michael Desrosiers. Desrosiers. That's
DeRosier?
It's got an S, though.
DeRose?
Desrosiers.
Yeah, well, that can be de.
Oh, could be.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
That's
I'm better
Italian,
with names
right?
and towns.
You are.
And you're just not good at
Ashley
pronouncing
Lewis,
things.
Adam Thorpe, Candy Emons, and Megan. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you, guys.
You
You're the
producers
best.
are fucking amazing, and you guys make this happen. So thank you so much.
Jimmy said it, guys. You guys make it happen. You keep us going. You keep it so we can do a show and not say, why did we spend all this time for nothing on
Yeah, no doubt.
on all this show? But you guys make it worth it, and thank you for all of your support.
Yeah.
Pass it on. Head to LH-ST.com and get your tickets for Lincoln Hall, Chicago, Illinois, December 14th. Do it up. God damn it, are we excited. Jimmy, what if someone wanted to get a hold of you? How can they do it?
If you want to find me and tell me something terrible, like I ruined your name, find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. Follow me, play along. It's been really, really amazing. Thanks to you guys. So thanks.
And I am at Jimmy P is Funny, and you can follow me there or copy and paste my name from the show description if you want to friend me on Facebook or something. Either way, I look forward to hearing from you guys. I get super busy and into the research, and I'm kind of off social media for 2 days, and it's too far behind. I promise I read everything. I try to like and try to do everything, but I read everything, and I take everything in, and I just thank you guys for all of your words and everything like that. You guys are honestly the best, and we are so excited. God, can't wait each and every week.
Yeah.
Get your ass back here next week. Telling you, because until next week, guys, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.